Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to the flagship Sunday podcast from the Talking Town crew. I'm your host, Martin, the Governor Lambert, and I hope we are all recovered from yet another 0-0 draw. It's just in our DNA. It's what we do these days. We can't score goals, we can't have shots, we can't have anything nice. We're Town fans. Hopefully that will change in the coming months, but for now, sadly, it won't. We've got a jam-packed show. Somehow, some way, this show, this platform, always manages to turn 0-0 draws, boring 0-0 draws, into absolutely fiery shows. Whether it be the ticket, or the Thursday, or the Monday, or today's the flagship show. We always manage to turn something, turn chicken doodah into chicken salad. And we'll see if we can do it again on this Sunday lunchtime. As always, we want to get you involved. So there'll be a live link coming very soon, probably in the next 10 minutes. So be ready on your phones, tablets, computers to get involved, because we are on a deadline today. The wife has arranged some sort of afternoon out with some friends. I didn't know we had any friends, but apparently we do. So we're going out. So I've got to be Speedy Gonzalez. In fact, you can support this show on Ko-Fi. That would help. That would stop the wife from nagging. She's been sounding off this morning. I'm not even going to hold it back. She's been sounding off. So I'm really pleased to be with friends. And that includes Mr. Matt Phillips and, of course, Mr. Plastic. He'll be with us soon. The live chat's already going off. Harry, good afternoon. Dr. Zach Goodin, good afternoon. Callie, King Callie, he is with us yesterday. Anthony Steele, hello all. Michael Finch in the room. This is brilliant. Love to see all these friendly faces. Mike D didn't watch yesterday. Don't worry. Neither did Captain Plastic. Whether it's getting too nice for me to consider spending a tenner on 11 frauds running around. Any improvements? We'll ask Rich, shall we? We'll ask Rich. Nate King, we have to be decent league first. Again, Nate King, why would he come and play for us? What a load of rubbish. Who? I don't know who he's talking about. Nick Pope. Jesus Christ. I mean, we've got more. Yep. Nick Pope in £7 million shocker. Chris Boardman, good afternoon. Jonathan Stringer, our resident posh fan who will be soon looking down from the championship on us all. Afternoon, looking like posh going up, although probably come straight back down. Do you think we may go in League One season after next? Oh, God, I sincerely hope not. I sincerely hope not. Right, let's bring in somebody who watched the misery party with me yesterday, who was watching it on platforms we shan't mention, just if we don't want to give him ideas. Here. All the way from Phillips, Catherine Powers, Matt Phillips.
How you doing? How are we doing, everyone? Quick shout out to Irvin. He said hi and bye. I'm off to referee a cup game. Vets is 35 plus. Yeah. I'm well above that.
You're vets.
Yeah.
You're vets.
I'm all good here. Look, I was inspired by Paul Cook saying how rubbish everything was this week to go down the tip yesterday. A little trip down there. This is one of the positives to come out of lockdown. They're far more organised than they've ever been at Chelmsford Refuge Centre. Let me tell you, they got parking bay, like comes and helps you. Fantastic. Do you know there was even a sign there that said 2-hour wait from here? Who queues 2 hours for go down the dump?
Oh, I don't know. Big shout out to Curtis, who has sadly hurt his ankle. I think it's pulled ligaments. So big shout out to our chief tattooist, Curtis Yates. Finally, I've made my upstairs.
Curtis, keep those hands safe, buddy.
Yeah, he's been signed. He's just got back to work. And he's been signed off. So, sod's law, innit? Sod's law. He's finally got upstairs though to watch the show. Brilliant stuff. Let me just get that banner rolling. There it is. Right, Matt. Me and you yesterday watched a slightly improved performance. We'll kick it off before we bring in Captain Plastic. Apparently, so according to BBC Sport, it didn't feel this way, but we had 5 shots with 2 on target yesterday. Can you remember any of the 5?
No. Well, the first one I can, because we had the Norwood header early doors, didn't we? The cross from the left. They cleared it off the line. But I've got the stats here, and we only beat Charlton in 3 areas. Ball possession, 53%, so we retained the ball, but obviously didn't do too much with it. Offsides, we had 3. And goalkeeper saves, 5. And we outpassed them as well by about 40 passes. 3-6-1 to 3-2-1. So again, it's possession without any threat, isn't it? Really,
it is.
It's just ball. What do you call it? Stat padding.
It is stat padding. Yeah, we started really well though yesterday.
Yeah.
We started with some vigor, some fight, some
tempo.
Yeah, and that was a nice way to start. We don't often start that way. We should have got a goal early doors, really, shouldn't we? That would have set the.
Well, the Norwood one. Norwood one was the chance, wasn't it? Well, I suppose we were a little bit unlucky there, but they're a good team. Good team, Charlton. That Innes is a good player, I think. Ryan Innes, the captain.
He is.
He's. I looked him up. He was at Palace. Never made the grade and went on loan 9 times, even into Scotland, multiple divisions in England. He had a bit of a tough background. He's only 25 now. He's out of contract June 22. I think he had to bring up his siblings because his parents had issues. So obviously a bit of a hardened character. Maybe the kind of character we could do with in our defence.
Potentially so. We've got Callie. Yes, Yatesy, bro, rest up. We've got Ollie. Are you watching F1 today? I certainly will be. I'm going around Neil Moles' house. So if it outside, don't want to fucking start that off again, do we? Jesus, Captain Plastic. You know all about that. And we. I like that name, Captain Plastic. That's kind of rolling off the tongue. Put that finger down. How rude. Good grief, we've got royalty in the building. Kate Kazanecki. I'll say Kate Riley. Just a bit easier.
Zanecki.
Who will be the first striker we sign in the summer? Good question. Brendan Carter. My name isn't on the monthly supporters board yet. Sad times. Is it not, Brendan? Is it not? I know I've given some names to our designer. Big up George Nunn. Absolute hero of a man.
It's got to go in the middle there. It's got to go in the middle, hasn't it?
You're right. There's a few names on there. Brendan, I do apologise. You'll be putting a different colour just for a week, just to make you feel still official. Jem, it was an improvement yesterday, but still powder puff. Callie, get your ITFC at 11 from Yatesy. Plus, he does. Callie, no free promotion, but go on. I'll leave it on the screen for just a second. While we welcome in Corporate Crime. Corporate crunch, but to me and you, Captain Plastic.
You've got no chance. You cannot pronounce Zarnecki. He can't even pronounce Dazelle right up there.
Shove your Dazelle up your ass, mate.
Anyway, big shout out, Matt.
Oh yes, we got we're terrace addicts now, aren't we? Terrace store addicts.
My missus told me no more Ipswich Town Cups. No more.
You should be a Norwich fan. They don't win cups either. I've got
congratulations to the Canaries for getting promoted.
No,
they will be there. They will be in the Premier.
No, not having it on my show. Not having it on my show. Not having it on my show. They'll be there for 3
seasons. They'll be there for 3 seasons. Autumn, winter, and spring.
Boom,
boom. Terrace mugs, I want to give a quick shout out to a company that we're going to be partnering up with very soon called Mass Creations, based in Bury St Edmunds. So if you're drinking from your new USA Takeover mug from the Terrace store while watching this podcast, you will have been they would have used the Mass Creation development from the website to back-end software. So these guys have designed the software that you see the mug in front of you. We'll be sorting that out soon.
What a lovely segue that was.
Yeah, I know. Thank you. I'll be working on that. They do web development, bespoke software, all sorts. We'll be working on it, as I say, in the coming weeks. They're based in Bury. I'll drop their website in the chat
big
right
shout
now.
out. Big shout out to the boys. Yes. Essex.
Yeah, I'm going through the parish notices first, guys. Second of all, we do have these wonderful, wonderful mugs, right? Which we'll be giving away to... Because we did reach 2,000 subscribers, right?
Yeah, Mike Davies got the shirt. Mike Davies got the shirt already.
He certainly has. So
we've not seen these. We've not even seen these.
No, this is fresh off the press. George Nunn delivered it the other day. We've got the list of those that were monthly subscribers at the very beginning, and obviously you have to start somewhere, and that was our start. So these guys will be receiving a mug. That will be coming to them soon.
Don't tell my missus there's another one coming. Don't tell my missus there's another one coming.
Oh, I thought I'd send the money on yours and not bother sending it. That's what I thought I'd do. Like the great shirt giveaway. But we are nearly, looking at that list, nearly there for the limit to start monthly giveaways. We just need a couple more, and then we're going to be doing regular giveaways for those monthly supporters. So if you're not yet supporting us on Ko-Fi, please do so. We're nearly there. And I'm excited about that. But sadly, we've got to bring it back down to talk about a 0-0 draw. You can just rest up your Terrace mug here for a minute, Plastic. I
watched it this morning. I had a little look through. Yeah, you can watch it for free, can't you, the next day? Look, I would have struggled to make it. Did you not know that?
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, on iPhone, it's got a full match replay. You can watch all the games. Oh, look, I would have struggled yesterday because Archie was playing. I'd struggled to get back for 12:30. So I thought, save myself £10. I'm not watching that.
What was the result? Sawston.
Well, Chesterton Eagles are probably the second best team in the under-10s league, and we beat them 1-0. So
nice.
The Sawston Invincibles roll on. 13 games unbeaten this season.
Wow. And
I had a great game as ref. Great game, straight down the middle.
Yeah. I don't believe that for a second.
No one does. Won the game.
The 4 penalties he gave yesterday had nothing to do with anything but fouls. They were fouls. Now, a side that could do with 4 penalties and probably would miss every single one is Ipswich Town Football Club. We can't score goals. What do you put that down to, guys? I'm putting it down to the handbrake being firmly applied for the 90 minutes. No point do I ever feel we ever go for it. We ever really sort of throw it all at the wall. Matt, yesterday you've seen the game, you've seen Rochdale, etc. What do you put it down to?
Yeah, you're probably right there. I think it can go. You can even draw a line of this back to the Mick McCarthy era, where we never really steamrolled teams. I mean, I think his biggest ever win was the 4-0 against Middlesbrough, and he wasn't even in the dugout that day, was he? Terry Connor was in the dugout. So I don't think it's a new thing, but yeah, we do certainly seem to play like we've got the handbrake on. But again, Cook has alluded this week that there's no creativity. We're not athletic. We're not fit enough. Maybe we just haven't got the personnel to do what we want to do.
To not score a goal. I mean, Lambert never struggled to score goals. Let's be fair. This is not a Paul Cook's a bad manager. Lambert's a bad. That's not about that at all. I'm just wondering. Like yesterday, you finished the game. Do you ever get the sense where
we weren't prolific under Lambert, were we? Come on, let's not beat around
one
the bush.
Goal prolific these days. Let's be honest. I'm just concerned. Like, I've never seen this club struggle the way this club is suddenly struggling to.
7 hours, over 7 hours without a goal.
But look at the strikers up. Norwood, he's not even averaged an hour of playing time this year's season. I think he's only even started 16 games.
Mm-hmm.
Finished 4 games, Matt.
So take him out of the equation. Then you've got Drinnan. Well, we know he doesn't score. Hawkins, we know he doesn't score and barely even plays. Caden Jackson got dumped over to the 23s for whatever reason. No one knows. That's your strikers, and Freddie Sears is a left.
It's not
winger, or right winger. I don't know.
It's not just your strikers. I was listening the other night to Chris Kiwami on the commentary, and like he said, there's no midfielders who get in the box and get beyond the striker. They're all safe, aren't they? They play them safe passes, and then no one goes beyond, and that's what we need We need someone in the summer, centre midfielder, who can get 8 to 10 goals. Because it can't just be about the striker scoring. The whole team have to chip in. Obviously, you need... Look, you look at Sunderland, you look at Peterborough, you look at Hull. They've all got somebody who's banging in goals on a regular basis. But everyone else is contributing as well. And we haven't got that. When you look at Norwood's got 6 league goals. Edwards has got 5, hasn't scored since October. Bishop's got 4, he hasn't scored. When did he last score? October?
Yeah.
And there's your problems.
Like we said Friday night on the Friday night show, you know, Norwood's our top scorer, doesn't even feature in the top 50 players for scoring goals in League One this season.
I was having a bit yesterday afternoon on Twitter about, look, Norwood I'd get rid of. And then someone tweeted me saying, look, I don't disagree. He is our best striker and he's averages a goal every 100.
We've got that coming up, you know. But no, carry on. We'll get into who we're going to have.
Averages a goal every 199 minutes. So you look at that over the season, and this guy said he'd scored 25 to 30 goals. No good sitting on the bench. No good. And look, his hamstring. How many times has he done his hamstring? Is that the 4th?
It's either a thigh or a hamstring normally.
In the summer, I think he'll stay. But I think he needs to take a good, long, hard look at himself in the mirror. Yeah. He's got to get himself fitter. He has to be fitter. Because I don't think, I said before, at the start, he didn't come back, I didn't think, in the best physical shape. And he's been playing catch-up since then.
Disagree.
Great. I agree with that.
I think he looks physically fit. I think as I've always said this on the show, there's a saying in American football, when you start getting injuries the way he has in terms of the tissue, hamstring, etc., at a certain age, it's harder to come back than it is in your 20s. He's now 30. You know, at some point your body just says, can't do this no more.
Not an old man, is it? Not an old man.
No, but I'm 31 and I've been, you know, my body gave up about 4 or 5 years ago. Like the human body is individual and it doesn't have a set time.
We have Chambers who can bash as much as we want. He's at 35. He's 5 games short of 400 games for the club. He's fit every single week.
He's got lucky. He
hasn't, because he looks after himself better, Martin. He looks after himself.
So did Kieran Dyer
he dedicates himself. He dedicates himself to his career.
Norwood
doesn't.
Did Kieran Dyer not look after himself?
Well, he was a bit of a party boy.
Well, you got that argument doesn't really stand up, mine. They are professional athletes, and you got Zlatan Ibrahimovic playing in the Serie A for AC Milan at 39. Yeah. He looks after himself. So if you want to go, like Richie's saying, if you want to go and play 32, 33, 34 and onwards at a good level, you look after yourself. You're a professional athlete.
Yeah, no, it's a fair point. I just think he's out the age where he's going to start picking up those type of injuries a lot easier, for a better word. And that's nothing but the age and
I'll never bash him when he's on the pitch. I'll never bash him. He's one that I say every time he's on there, he does give 100%. He's just not on the pitch.
Perhaps I just thought it was Tweedy say there. Perhaps, you know, he's maybe burnt out because he never got injured at Tranmere. But then look at his history: almost 300 games in the non-league. Now they ain't training to the standards of professional teams, so maybe it is catching up with him. So I can see the argument there, but once you're in that professional environment, surely you want to.
Chambers hasn't got lucky, Mike. Chambers hasn't got lucky. He hasn't got lucky. He looks after himself. We can all go out on the piss and whatever, like Norwood does. Right?
Though, as Callie says, Crunch, none of us live with Norwood, so we can't say how he handles himself.
Follow him on Instagram and follow him on Twitter, and you know what he's like. You know what he's like. Don't
you always make me fun?
Anyway,
unless you're around.
Callie's changed his tune, hasn't he? He was binning him off about 4 weeks ago.
Nate King heard whispers. Cook gave him a grilling over his Twitter activity. Joshua Phillips, welcome in, Josh. The problem is if we want to go up, we can't have okay players. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Let's go back to the best. Start with the back 4 then yesterday, and I'll drop a link in a few minutes' time for the guys and girls to have their say. Phil and Neil, Wolfenden and McGuinness came back in, the 2 centre halves, along with KVY, who grew into the game, looked better as it went on, and Stephen Ward.
What about that flying left back we had?
Bombing on, as Brennan said. Bombing on. Bren, if you're watching, Bren, that's a bit of an extreme term. Not because it's the word bombing, just because he wasn't going anywhere. Back 4. First of all, did the team sheet back up Paul Cook's words?
Well,
I don't know. To be honest with you,
I know my team was a bit different than Matt's I put up Friday, but I never look. That was only what I played. I never thought he would go with that. Really, realistically,
we were just trying to come up with some different alternatives, weren't we?
But then we look at the league table. and we sit here today, and we're nearer the playoffs than we were before kick-off yesterday.
Yeah, but did him saying, "I don't trust this bunch. They'll be hurt, disappointment. I'll be like Demolition Man." All of these really colourful comments. Did the team sheet with Ward being captain, etc., back up those really bold claims that we talked about Friday night, or was it more of the same?
It probably was more of the same, but I think he's probably more meaning about in the summer. If that's when the massive turnover of players is coming. At the minute, he can't really do a lot, can he? He can't. We can all say he should play some of the kids, throw the kids in, but when he looks at the table, Paul Cook's a winner, and there's probably still a little bit in the back of his mind says we could still sneak in the playoffs.
Yeah, but he's kind of ruling it out as well, though, isn't he? He said even though we're 4 points off, or whatever, you know, we're not putting in the performances, we're not scoring enough goals, we're not going to probably make it. Although McGuinness,
look at Kate swearing in the chat.
I know. I know.
Unbelievable.
I just thought, wow, we might get a swear whatever out of her before the end of the season. You know,
he had to play a decent. We are playing Charlton, just above us in the table. He had to put out some kind of decent side.
Yeah,
pushing for playoffs themselves. He wasn't going to stick out. You know, I don't know. For argument's sake,
I agree with Adam. I was disappointed that Nydam's not been involved. I thought he might get some more minutes, but then he's only just come back from an injury, and you don't know how he's. He said he was blowing, wasn't he, after that 30 minutes when he played at MK Dons the other week. So
maybe 23's action for him.
I don't know.
There are a few names that you could have been disappointed didn't start, but on that back four, did you like it? Did you feel it was balanced? Did you feel it was the best back four we probably had this year? Where were you? Because actually, watching the game, I was quite impressed. And you want to see how that back four would have done
if you go on
over a sustained period, right?
If you go on SofaScore, Matt said before, I think McGuinness, is he hot? He don't like it, does he?
He was at one point because he didn't play for.
He's not played since that was us. He's not played since Northampton, has he? The 0-0 draw.
He dropped off since then. But he wasn't a highly rated player.
It's nice to see Wolford playing in his natural position. He had a better game, and look, it was encouraging to see Vincent Young. He's played 180 minutes this week, 2 games.
One man of the match, Rich, was Holy for me.
Oh my lord, what was he doing? There was 2 that he flapped at. One in the first half when he dropped it. Another one he came out. He was not. Look, he kept a clean sheet, which is fair enough. But he's never convincing, is he?
He made 5 good saves yesterday. 4 inside. Do you know he touched the ball 50 times? Ben Amos touched the ball 26 times. So there was a lot of action for him. You know, there was a lot of action for Holy yesterday, and I felt he was man of the match. I think he kept us in the game.
But you'd say the big plus point was Vincent Young, wasn't it? Really. To get 2 games in a week out of him, and then you hope that he can play in these remaining 5 games, have a really decent pre-season. Look, it'd be like a brand new player if he's fit next season. That's one position nailed on, isn't it? If he's fit, he plays every week. We
started seeing the return. You know, like that game he had. Was it Shrewsbury last season when he went on and scored?
I see the run where he done the step over in the second half and had a shot and it went over the crossbar, and you think that's more of what we like, and then maybe next season, Martin, he might sort of get them 10 goals that Matt predicted at the start of this season.
He'd be a bit player for me next year. He really would.
All competition.
Really?
Yeah, and we'll get into that a bit later. Yes, he'd be.
Really?
You can't rely on him. But anyway, I'll just drop the link in the chat for those that want to get on and have their say following yesterday's game. I know it was a shortened match day ticket. A few comments first of all. We've got Rabbitman39. Ben, I'm not reading that comment. I can't read that comment. That's just not good. Facebook user above Rabbitman. Love to see Baggett next season.
I want to see that.
Rob Smith. Hopefully the clean sheets will lift Holy's price tag and we can sell him. Steve, I can't read that. Steve Hayes need new number 1 next season. Curtis Yates. People say Holy had basic saves to make yesterday, and that is his job. That's correct. Yesterday was the most I've seen him move in all of his time here. Lee Holy, man of the match, says Matt. What did you make of him yesterday?
Hi.
Hi guys. Well, not really, because he's not convincing, is he? I mean, I've just put in the chat there. 17 clean sheets, I think we've kept this season, but they're not all down to him, are they? And he just doesn't feed you with confidence at all anymore. He's just not good enough for what we want, is he? He's just.
Do you think he'll look? I think Lee, he'll look to bring in an experienced goalie who can play the level that we're at, but the level up. And Christian Walton, who he had at Wigan, he's out of contract in the end of the season, so I wouldn't be surprised if he had a look at him. To be honest,
that was Luke Penning's video, wasn't it?
Yeah, he said that, didn't he, Luke?
Yeah.
That's quite interesting, that Crunch, because you've got to think about like the recruitment. You've got to get a high sort of League One to make sure we get out, and low Championship or Championship players as well. So so that's going to be quite interesting. But
can I throw a suggestion at you, Lee? What if you just keep Cornell and Holy both on a year? They're both obviously adequate enough to be a top 8 goalkeeper in this division. Would it be the worst thing in the world if they just said, right, we're going to leave those two as our 1 and 2. They can fight that out for a year, and we'll review it in the summer. Hopefully, if we were a Championship club, you get a better quality of player. Because we criticise both, but we are still a top 8 side with both on the books.
Yeah, I thought about that, but what you've got to think about is we're keeping 17 clean sheets because we're not getting enough bodies forward to score goals, are we? So we're not opening ourselves up too much. Apart from that period, sort of a third away in the season where we were leaking goals and everyone looked absolutely awful. But I think if you want to attack more, then you've got to have a better goalkeeper. So yeah, I take the point. If you get the players up front a little bit better, but even if you get 4 good players up front, they've still got to be good, haven't they? They've still got to, you still need other bodies in the box. So it's a difficult one. And again, it's all down to the the recruitment, isn't it? And what money Cook has or what he can get. But yeah, keep one of them, and maybe I think it's an improvement. I think it's an area where we should go out and say, we need someone better, because I don't think he's got it.
Matt, how would you go about that then? Because they're both on a year, so you can't. It's not as simple as saying, well, one's out of contract, so like Price, they can write. You've got to offload one or pay one off. How would you go about that? Because who's going to want them?
Exactly. Where would they go? Unless you just settled up their contracts, I suppose. But I can't see that happening. We did say, didn't we, when Holy signed when we, the intel I'd got from people who watched a lot of League One, League Two football was he's not that good and letting a lot of goals for Gillingham. They were really surprised that Lambert came in and got him early doors in that window when he first came. I don't know. I mean, traditionally, a lot of League One, League Two teams would go to a Premier League club and get a on loan keeper, wouldn't they? That used to see that quite a lot. But his stats do, Norris. But his stats do stack up against all the other keepers around us, be it Christy Pym or the Sunderland keeper, Burge, I think it is, the guy at Hull City. Holy stats are on par with theirs.
Worst thing in the world.
Stats don't tell the full story, though, do they? Because, as I say, you got 17 clean sheets, but look what he's flapped at. You just don't feel confident with him. So, it's stats and, you got to look at stats and performance. Yeah. For me. So,
He also he's only as good as his defence as well, of course, Lee. He can't do it all himself. Yeah, he does. For someone so tall, he does flap a lot of crosses. You'd think that'd be bread and butter.
If we started next season with them, so as 1 and 2, and we hadn't got a new keeper in, would it be the worst thing in the world for you? Would you be pulling your hair out? What's left?
How rude. No, it wouldn't be the end of the look. It wouldn't be the end of the world. I agree with Lee. I'd keep one of them, and I'd look to move the other one on, and I'd want a number one who is good enough to play in the Championship. I know we're in the League One at the minute, but someone who can go to the next level when we're there. And I don't think either of these keepers are Championship class, are they? Cornell, look, we had the Northampton guy on, didn't we, before the season? And we've not seen enough of him. We haven't seen enough of him. He's only played, a handful of games. Holy, he's adequate, isn't he? If I was keeping either of them, I'd keep Holy over Cornell, definitely.
Yeah, well, they've both got a year. So I would be in the camp of just get the year out of the way, because I don't think you're not going to get promoted because of them. And then in the summer, both out of contract, I'd say adios amigos to both of them and look to bring in
Can we just clip this up, Matt? Can we clip this up till probably about November next season when Holy's had an absolute mare against Fleetwood?
Oh, I'll be the first one to contract. Yeah, well, that's what I'm going for. That's what I'm going for.
So predictable. So predictable.
I'm lining them all up, Lee. You say I'm lining them all up, mate. All right,
I'm predictable as Lambert's press conferences. You are, mate. Honestly,
I'd do anything to get Bart back. Right, before I bring in the fisherman, because I know I want to talk about this man. Let's get your thoughts, Lee. Luke Chambers. Interesting comments post game from Cook, indicating maybe that the next step or the next sort of conversation would be off the field in terms of a coaching role or something along those lines that Chambers may have to think about himself. He was not playing yesterday. I hesitate to say drop. What are your thoughts on Luke Chambers, both in terms of maybe coming back in Tuesday night and further on from there?
I think pre the takeover, I've been on the show here, I think, and said he would be one person that I would keep. It all depends what the recruitment is and who we can go out and get and how much we've got to spend in this first transfer window for me. But I think that the deficiencies is not of Chambers, but it's of the team. But as soon as Kane Vincent-Young comes back into the team, and that first 15, 20 minutes of the second half, when he had that run, there's nobody can do that. So for me, as a right back, no, he's not good enough now, is he? He's not. We've got Kane Vincent-Young, and we need a proper backup for him, even if it's someone younger. So I think maybe now, I said pre the takeover that, you would keep him as backup, because I don't think he's a centre-back much anymore. I thought the two that played yesterday knocked the ball around really well. Mm-hmm. I know we got a bit cumbersome at times, but you never felt like they were going to give the ball away, although I think McGuinness did once, to be fair, but they look comfortable on the ball. I think he's done now. I think the takeover has nailed it for me. I think there's better out there to get, and Tyler, he's done.
Okay, Lee, as always, appreciate it, brother.
Cheers,
Look after yourself. Thank you.
Yeah,
Mike, just hang on just there. I'll get these two guys' first thoughts. Chambers. Matt, first of all, what do you think?
Yeah, I've not changed my mind on Chambers. If we're going to go forward with new ownership, a newish manager, we need new voices in the dressing room. So he's been a great servant to us, but I think you've got to change the culture. Cook outlined what the culture was to us this week in terms of the playing side of everything. So if you're going to make movement off the pitch, then we need a new voice, a new leader, a new captain, 100%.
Yeah. Cruncher, agree with that, or do you disagree?
Yeah, moving on. I agree now with what we've got available. I'd like to see him play these remaining 5 games, get him to 400, even if they have a testimonial. I think he deserves it. I know a lot of people say he's been average. He's been part of the decline. Yeah, he has. There's no getting away from that. But look, I think he's put 9 years hard graft in. He's available every single week. So he's been a good servant. But yeah, we need to move on into a new era, don't we? Definitely. And my mum likes your mugs, Martin. She just texted me.
Oh, brilliant. Good stuff. Good stuff.
If you want my mum's address to send her one, I'll give it to you.
I've got it. Anyway, I do think I'm surprised at both of you saying what you've said about Chambers. I thought there'd be a little bit of disagreement on the show today. I agree with you both. Does Mike agree? Mike Fisherman, Luke Chambers. But before you answer, Adam Flatt, GTFOH, get the fuck out. He has clipped me up a wonderful sound clip, which I'll use on the show moving forward once I get a spare 5 minutes to sort it out. But it's wonderful. Thank you, Adam. Fisherman, Luke Chambers.
Do you know what I'd like to see Chambers do? Right, I'd like to see him leave the club, maybe play on a couple of years at another, maybe a lower league or whatever, and during that time, do his coaching badges, maybe fitness lifestyle coach. Like that was a really good point someone made there about on Facebook about He's not been a great player, but he's a consistently average player over the years. And, he does this. Look, I'm not Chambers' biggest fan as a footballer, but I'm telling you now, I agree with Rich. He does need a testimonial. He has given us a long sort of longevity as a captain. And while I don't think he's been the best captain this club's had, and probably down there with some of the, I feel, some of the worst, but he's not been a particularly, but like I said, look, I'm not going to go negative on Chambers. I think I'd like to see him leave and do what John Terry's done, Lampard's doing, Gerrard's doing. These players were, I know you can't put Chambers in the same boat as them players, but if you look at John Terry, he was Mr. Chelsea through and through, wasn't he? And eventually they had to say, look, it's time to move on. I think with Chambers, I think he needs to move on. And I'd like to have him come back at some point as a lifestyle coach, or maybe lifestyle coach, or maybe even.
If you look at Matt Bloomfield, plays for Wickham. He's played 500 odd games or 400 games for them.
Yeah,
he's been coaching at Town even when he's at Wickham. He does some stuff down at the club. So I wouldn't be against something like that with Chambers, because look, I've met him off the pitch. The club means the world to him. We can never say that it doesn't to him. A lot of them it doesn't. But for him, it does. And you can see in his interviews how much it's weighed on him. And I think he just needs that release to go away, because he said that he still wants to keep playing. So if he goes to somewhere like, he lives in Kettering, I think, or he comes from there. If he went to somewhere like Northampton, because he'd obviously played there before, and I think you're a long time retired in football. And what is he, 35? He's probably got another couple of years, probably at League Two level, if he wants to. I don't agree with it that he should be a coach at the minute. Cook needs to get his own people around him at the minute. And it was interesting yesterday, Kieran Dyer was doing the warm-up. So he's getting him involved, which is good.
Yeah.
But he did indicate from the post-match that it was almost, Matt, what it was insinuating was the next contract was maybe going to be a coaching deal. And Luke would have to really sort of go away and think internally, am I ready to do that yet? Or am I still wanting to go and play? Did you get that vibe from Cookie yesterday?
Yeah. And also when he was talking about the next era of Ipswich Town, and he just said those four random names, didn't he? Chambers was one of those. I think that was a bit of a Freudian slip, really, of people who might be going. But I mean, does Chambers even want to be a coach? Who knows? He might not have that.
I think would be a damn good coach. I genuinely do. I think he's quite, he's not the most vocal of captains. He's not, you watch Holland's, your Jiltons when he did captains, your Bearers and all that. There was a lot of vocal.
They had better players around as well, Mike, didn't they?
They had a lot of voice and a lot of. They commanded respect, and they deserved respect every time we went on the football pitch. With Chambers, you were like, look, I don't think anybody can question his loyalty to the club. He's been here long enough. I'm a fan, like everyone, and when he has a shocking game, you're going to get on his case. It's just part of being a football fan, I think. But with a serious head on and a more calm head on, I think I'd like to see him at some point come back to the club as a in some sort of coaching role, maybe in the future. Under management, or maybe just like I said, lifestyle fitness coach. I think he deserves that, and I think he definitely deserves to play his 400 games for the club. He definitely deserves to have a testimonial, But like I said, yes, he was part of the relegation squad, but it weren't just Chambers, and we all know that. And you've got Skews in that category, Sears in that category. Do you know what I mean? And and going back to the goalies as well, I think we have got to get rid of one of them. Would I keep Holy? Personally, I would just go out and get 2 new keepers. Liverpool didn't win the league by sticking with a keeper that made that massive Champions League cock up. They went out and bought one of the world's best. I know we can't buy the world's best, but we need a top half championship type of squad in League One, so we can get into the championship and compete in the championship. Because then our next game is to get us up to the Premier League like our rivals down the road. And the reality is that you can't get promoted with what I call lower championship players and expect to do well in the championship. Wycombe proved that, and there's a few other teams that have done that, have gone up and come straight back down. With Ipswich, I think we've got the potential to. We just need really good experience, not old, but older experienced players that maybe sort of step down to championship, or that maybe want to come to league because we've got money. Sorry, go on, Martin. You look like
I just think you need to sort of prepare yourself for them both being here, because I know we've got a bit of money behind us now, but you don't want to be stupid with it. Like, why are you paying both keepers off when they're both? I mean, Cornell we haven't really seen, but Holy is adequate. He's not going to get you 12 points, but he's adequate.
I know you're a massive.
Sorry, because
you're a massive Bart fan.
Absolutely.
I mean,
how many points did
my days? That kind of 7-foot goalkeeper, not even if all he had to do was just tip it on out to touch, but to try and catch it and then, oh my lord!
But you didn't concede from it. You've got one of the best defensive records in the league. Like we're not 8th, Mike, because Thomas Holy can't catch a cold in a flu clinic. Like we literally just need to buy. I'd rather. This is again coming back down to the fact that if you give me a budget, I'm going to go and use all that budget on a striker and a creative midfielder instead of paying 2 keepers off. Who, by the way, in a year's time will be out of contract, and I can go and get a good goalkeeper, or go and buy a good goalkeeper. Like
you can get a good goalkeeper on a free, Martin, like Christian Walton. He's an improvement.
Yeah, I'm talking better. I'm talking championship quality.
Yeah, but Bart, hang on, where did Bart come from? Where did Bart come from when we signed him?
Southampton. Well, you have from North County, but he'd been at Southampton. He'd been around. He's got pedigree.
And he won us games. This is what I'm saying. He went that season, and we can all say the decline. The decline started under McCarthy, and Bart kept us in that league, didn't he? Look at the saves he made that season. If you go on YouTube, some of them are absolutely unbelievable. And he's won us points there. This is what we need.
But Crunch, it's 0-0, mate. We're not losing 1-0. We're not drawing 1-1 and thinking, oh, we can't.
We lost 3-0 to we lost 3-0 to AC Wimbledon. And to be honest,
that wasn't his fault.
He made no attempt to make a proper save to try and get that ball. Real good goalkeepers. Honestly, I think we've said this before. Cardboard cutouts move quicker than Holy does sometimes.
You still didn't score a goal, Mike. So it still would have been 0-0. The point is, if we were talking about the fact we can't get over the hump because we're conceding goals for fun, I'm just thinking.
But you need the spine of the team, Martin. You need the spine of the team. And it starts with your goalkeeper, then your centre half, then your centre midfielder, and then your centre forward. That's what you need to build.
So on that basis, Martin, you're saying let's play 11 outfield players, or we could stick anybody in goal because our defence is good enough.
In League One, you certainly can.
But that's what you're saying, isn't it? You're saying we can stick. Okay, let's Chambers. We'll stick Chambers in goal. Yeah.
Joe Royle had Shane Supple and Lewis Price in goal. No, you don't need it. Joe, what? Win 4-3, win 2-1.
Did you say Joe Royle? What?
Had Shane Supple and Lewis Price in goal.
Yeah, in the decline. They only played he never played in Joe Royle's good team. Yeah, Kelvin Davis.
The point is,
Joe never had a sub keeper on the bench, if memory serves me right.
Lee Anderson, I see your point, man. If we get up, then we've been a better. Yes, exactly that. We've been in a better position to get a better keeper. Thomas Holy and Di Cornell are not holding this football club back. It's not having a striker on the pitch that's holding the football club back. You know what I mean? It's having driven and Horton.
Do we, Martin? We need one of them to go. And as much as look, I still don't think Holy is that great a keeper. I don't think there's much between him and Cornell. I'd rather keep Cornell and get rid of Holy. I think Cornell, his kicking's not as good, but I think Cornell has the ability to save, produce better saves. That's
based
just
on
an
what?
opinion. That's obviously,
But what are you basing that on?
Based on the games I've watched.
But Di Cornell
last season and the ones I've seen this season when Cornell's played. He's pulled off.
Would it help? Would it help, Mike, if we got a decent goalkeeper coaching?
No.
You can't say that. You can't say that categorically. You could say possibly, but not a categoric no. You could say possibly yes or possibly no. The reality is, we haven't got a goalkeeper coach now, so we need to bring a new one in. So maybe that's the plan. Maybe they don't rate the one we had and they want to bring a new one in.
All right, Mike. Love you as always. Appreciate you, buddy.
Look after yourself. That's normal.
Love you, man. Love you, man.
I was going to say that with that new goalkeeping coach could come a new keeper. The two might come together, depending on what club they come from. So you could see something there. We haven't really got
I do agree with you, Mike. I do agree with you. The money, you do need to look at the top end of the pitch. But I still think you could get a better goalie and you're not going to have to spend a lot of money.
Harrison Smith will take Aaron Lee Barrett in the net right now. I love Aaron Lee Barrett.
He was shit.
Great goalkeeper.
He was another non-league. He was another non-league into professional football. But I thought maybe you could have had Holy and Pricebeck as the two keepers. Well, he's now gone, isn't he?
Yeah, so I think I'm with Chris Woodman. It doesn't matter who the keeping coach is because of that very reason. They're already at their highest standard. They ain't going to get any more out of them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas Bart, and you can sort of correct me if I'm wrong. I thought it was a sort of a mental issue with Bart in the sense of didn't he have some sort of like panic attack at Southampton or something like that where he went from first choice to second to third and then sort of went back to Notts County to reevaluate, something like that. So me, it was about him just getting confidence back in himself. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I might have read that wrong in an article and remembering events.
Still the best goalie in the Championship now for Millwall.
Oh, he's only a club like Town could sell him for £1 million. I mean, he's
even that, wasn't it? It's like 900.
It was ridiculous. Adam Flatt, I saw Alan Lee about the fish on Fycroft Road. Behave yourself. Andre Giselle, for me, best game out of him yesterday. He looked positive. He looked lively. Yeah. If we were going to score, it was going to come through him. What did you two make of Andre before?
See what you've done there. See what you've done there. You got rid of Mike. I see you got rid of Mike Brown before you asked that question.
Tactic.
Andre could score a hat-trick and he'd still say
better. He was better. It was interesting that he got the captaincy when Ward went off. That was an interesting one, wasn't it?
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, they give him the armband.
Yes, might have been just a token giving him the armband. Look, he had 91% pass accuracy yesterday. A lot of long ball success. Balls over the top. He did all right. Downs was just as good next to him, I think. But that you know, we've been quite critical of Andre, haven't we? So I suppose it was nice to see him get in amongst it and have a decent-ish game. But I like that Jake Forster-Kasky, who was playing for Charlton. I thought he was a good player in their midfield. Nicky Forster's stepson. Jake Forster-Kasky.
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
Yes, his stepson. So I thought he was decent. Again, that's another young lad, you know, that Charlton have had come through, and someone that our young players could maybe sort of aspire to be like. Because I always think these youngsters we see in other teams just seem to have more about them than ours. For whatever reason that is, I don't know. Is it because they've been to other clubs? We talk about Ryan Innes. He's been on loan to 9 clubs. Now he's got the captaincy.
But then Charlton are not pulling up any trees, Matt. They're on the same level as we are.
True. Lost their manager because he got headhunted, didn't he? I don't think they'd
have got. Look, Atkins is. Look, I think we're all big fans of Nigel Atkins, but I don't think he's probably going to have enough to get them in the playoffs. Not what I see yesterday. Really.
Did you not just feel the balance in midfield was better? People were saying Downs wasn't really in the game, but I felt Downs did all the nitty-gritty stuff that you don't see on the ball that allowed Andre to go and be what he was yesterday. And I was really impressed with him. Passing, always looking forward.
Yeah. Just
put a shot in your game, Andre.
Well, it sounded like he had taken to heart what Cook had said post Wimbledon, didn't it? Yeah. I would agree with that.
I do agree with Lee there. He did seem to play hard up. There was one in the second half. I think it was where Edwards had the shot and Andre was on the edge of the box and he could have been played in. Look, he scored no goals this season, has he? He's got how many? 1 assist, 2 assists.
1, I think.
Needs to do a lot more. He does need to do a lot more, doesn't he? But he'll be there next year. He's got a 3-year contract. He'll be part of the squad.
Thing is though, Rich, when Andre first came into the team, he scored on his debut at Sheffield Wednesday, didn't he?
Yeah,
with a header. So he was playing quite far forward then. I seem to recall in that game where he got injured against Birmingham and was out for the season. He was playing quite a forward role there.
Yeah, he ran the game, didn't he, that game?
Yeah, and then he got that goal against Leeds, that really great strike from the right side.
That was from the right-hand side. He was playing on the right-hand side of midfield then, wasn't he?
Yeah, maybe just put, like Lee says there, if he was playing more progressively yesterday, a bit higher up the pitch, maybe that just suits his game more. Perhaps he has got attacking intentions, but under the Lambert culture, it was restrained a little bit. I don't know.
Might be. Where's the Guv gone? He's applauding those out. Yeah, it was better, but still not what maybe we require. Colin, you've seen his dad play. You've seen him play. What did you make of Andre's performance yesterday?
Hi, Colin.
Hi, Matt. Hi, Rich. Hello, Martin. How are we? All right?
Yeah, we're good, thanks.
We're good.
Yeah, well, like I say, I didn't watch it yesterday. I listened to it on the radio, but it sounded like he had a really good game, and good luck to the boy.
Careful, because Martin will be calling you a plastic fan in a minute.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. No, it sounded like he had a really good game, and you want to hear that, especially from the younger players, and good luck to the boy. I hope he goes on for the rest of the season and plays better, game by game. Yeah.
Now you're somebody, Colin, who is holding on to the faint hope of playoffs. Is that right? Are you still holding on to that faint hope even after that 0-0 draw?
I'll never give up. I will never give up. Never give up until it's mathematically impossible. I don't believe in giving up in anything, any shape or form in life. I just don't believe in giving up. And while there's, like I say, what I said in the chat yesterday, where there's life, there's hope, and there's 1 or 2 of those sides still got to play each other, take points off each other. But like I said to Rich, I texted Rich last night, and I really meant it. We actually need 15 points out of 15 now, I think, to do it. I actually think we need to win 5 games out of 5. And that would be my message. If I'd have been Cookie after the game last night, I'd say, yeah, okay, they're not a bad result, boys, but not what we wanted, but not bad. And I would have said to them, right, okay, when you walk out of this dressing room at the Valley today, and we get on the bus, the next 5, the 3 games away and the 2 games at home, they have all got to be wins. Full stop.
We can't score goals, Colin.
Sorry?
We can't score goals.
No, that is the problem. Yeah, I understand that, Martin. But you've got to live in hope, and 5 1-0 wins, So we've got to find 5 goals from somewhere. Yeah, I agree. But 5-1-0 wins, I think, would possibly just do it. Possibly.
Yeah, but the thing is though, Matt, that should be fairly achievable from the teams we're playing, but we just can't find the onion there.
No. Well, that would take us to what, 76 points. So that would actually get us into the playoffs quite comfortably, you would have thought, Colin, historically. But as Cook said, because we're getting mixed messages now coming out of the club, because McGuinness did an interview yesterday saying we're still in it. And if you listen to Cook, he's saying we're not really in it because we can't score, we can't create. So we're getting mixed messages, really. I think the fact that we've let Alan Judge go speaks volumes, because they didn't want to trigger the contract thing that makes him get an automatic year. That to me is slightly waving a white flag that we're going to go again next season to me.
But then I was looking this morning, guys. I see the Portsmouth fans. They've wrote off this season. You want to see some of the comments from them?
Well, Freddie,
the counties.
They seem to be going down like a lead balloon just this last 2 or 3 weeks, Pompey, don't they, Rich?
Yeah. And then you got Oxford, who are just sneaking in last night, 2-0 down with about 15 minutes left and won 3-2. You know, that's a big win for them. So
it's unbelievable, actually, bring Oxford up. You know, I looked on my phone last night. They were 2-0 down. I thought, yep, off you go with the phone. That's all over. I looked at my phone this morning, and I swear to God, and I couldn't believe what I'd seen. They won 3-2. I could not believe it. I left it at 2-0, thought it was the job done, you know.
And they've got AFC Wimbledon on Tuesday night away.
That won't be easy. Wimbledon.
Portsmouth have got Swindon at home.
Yeah.
So, no, away. Swindon away.
Rich, you got to remember, in Wimbledon's last 3 games, they got 5 at Accrington, 3 against us, 4 yesterday, 5-8, 12 goals in 3 games.
See, there's hope there, guys. We might burst into life, maybe.
Colin, Jim says, fancy having 22 clean sheets in your world and not making the playoffs.
Yeah. Half the season, half the league season. Interesting, you just mentioned Swindon there, because did you notice who was playing for Charlton yesterday? That Jai Simi, who kind of ruled it when they came to Norwood Road and beat us 3-2. They signed him off the back of the.
He's gone, isn't he? John Sheridan. Did you see John Sheridan's been sacked? He's left Swindon. Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, are they bottom of the table now, Swindon?
Yeah, I think so. They're going to go, aren't they?
Yeah. But
Rich, I'd just like to say one last thing. Talking earlier about Norwood and, you know, all these problems he has with injuries, like I put in the chat, I don't know exactly, if I'm honest. I could have went on the internet and found out exactly, but I know I'm within 1 or 2 games. PM, Paul Mariner, I was calling PM. Paul Mariner, in the season that we won the UEFA Cup, I know for a fact we played 66 games that season, and I believe that PM played 58 to 60 of those games.
58 games. I've got me print on the wall that the guys got me for my birthday, the 81 print, and it's got he played 58 games.
Yeah, right.
And how many did Pele play? Brazil,
58 games.
Just have a little look at that, Mr. Norwood.
Yeah.
All right,
and
Colin.
And Martin, and this was before we had all these physical buds, you know. Physical this, physical that. You know what I mean? Yeah, that was pre all that.
More physical game, worse pitches.
And they were down the pub. They were down the pub after every game.
A cigarette in the groundsman hut.
Honest to God, I've seen PM and Alan Brazil up the top, you know, playing at the baseball ground, and you couldn't see their ankles. You know, in mud, you couldn't see their ankles. Osman. Honestly, Matt.
Osman, 66 games that season, Colin.
Played every one. I think. What did Millsy play? 63, 62.
He was on 54. He got injured, didn't he? I think. Was he injured?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot, but yeah. Yeah.
All right.
But,
I've got to move it on because it's 55 minutes already, and the one that must be obeyed. The leader of the opposition is breathing down mine there.
Yeah, what a win that was! What a win! See you, mate.
Colin, love you, man. Look after yourself. Right, let's move it on to we've got an in contract, out of contract. These are the players that are in contract still at the football club. Holy, Cornell are the 2 goalkeepers, as we've mentioned this afternoon already. Then we've got Vincent Young, Wolfenden, and Darber, Kenlock. Midfielders of Dazelle, Downs, Nolan, McGavin, Dobra, Lancaster, Hawkins, and Norwood. What do you think? Would you keep that as your nucleus? Because I was looking at that earlier and I thought if you just kept your goalkeeper, then you had Wolfenden at centre half, Dazelle and Downs as your two midfielders, you'd looking at about seven first team players coming in, with the rest of those players making up the rest of the squad. Is that an achievable target, or
I've got 8 wrote down. I included a goalkeeper, centre back, left back, centre midfield, left wing, right wing, and I'll go. You need 2 strikers.
Well,
Hawkins, I'll get rid of Hawkins.
He plays one up front. It's 4-2-3-1. So
if you need reserve, especially with our injury record.
Well, you hope that's going to be different. You hope new era, hopefully, new investment, etc. You've got to balance this year, right, Matt? We're between change because you need to change, but too much change, and then having it too quickly, too much too quickly.
Well, yeah, I mean, we saw that with Hurst, didn't we?
yeah, we did.
You could argue maybe he expected too much from the players he signed out of the lower leagues to step straight into the Championship all at once. He didn't just drip feed them in, did he? They was all straight into that opening game against Blackburn. So, yeah, I think what we got there tonight. You wholly in goal for argument's sake. Kane nailed down that right back spot if he can keep it. Wolfenden with one other. Nice to be able to see Corey come through. We've seen an improved Miles Kenlock since he come back from his little hiatus.
Is Baggett under contract, Martin?
I believe he is. Yeah, this is the first team players only. Yeah. But Vincent Young, Matt, I would look to have him as number 2 and have to work his way back to being number 1, because I can't rely on him at this point to be nailed on number 1.
So who would be so you're saying another is going to be number 1 if we let
I'd bring somebody in. Yeah,
well,
it'd be a right.
You'll need competition for that spot. So yeah, you can expect someone to come in.
You see, I'd look at this crunch and say Vincent Young right back, back up, Kenlock back up, left back. You got Indaba and Baggett as your 2 centre half backups. Bring in somebody to go alongside Wolfie. That's realistic. That's not too much.
And then you got Miles there. You got Miles. I've said this before about him. He's what? Is he 24 now? And he's been here. He needs to really go and play first team football, Martin, somewhere.
But he's under contract, and you're not.
I know he's under contract, but I'm thinking if I was him, would I want to be back up again? Probably not.
Well, that's why
I'd want to go and play football.
Get your agent to work is what I would say, because otherwise we're in the business now suddenly, as we were in the early days of Evans, paying people up. And when you pay them up, you're still paying big salaries just in one go. And then you're not getting anything for that fee. So I don't want to fall into this.
And then you've got
a bit of money. Let's pay it up.
Midfielders there. McGavin, I'd like to get out on loan, go and play a season, probably League 2. If he's not going to be regular every week, is he?
No, but he wasn't even regular for Airrich when he went up on loan.
What did he play? A few minutes off the bench. That was it.
They did have a change of manager, I guess. But I mean, Indaba got games though. Indaba got games when he was there.
But what about 4-2-3-1? What about John Nolan, Martin? What about John Nolan? Where are you putting him?
He's my reserve number 10. He's my reserve because he can do any one of those 3 midfielder positions fairly 6 out of 10ish. So again, I'm looking at Nolan as my reserve, McGavin is my reserve, Dobra is my reserve, Lancaster is my reserve. I'm looking at it overall, Matt. I'm crunching. I'm thinking we've got a good nucleus of a squad there. You just need to go and add 7 fresh faces to it that are first teamers and are better than what you've got there. You don't need 15 because you don't want to inflate the squad too much, and you're still giving the opportunity to young players.
Yeah, no, I get that. I think that's good thinking. I mean, Jack has disappeared off the scene, hasn't he? Where's he injured?
Is he injured?
You're in the know, Crunch. I
don't know.
You find out.
Don't know.
I mean, look at the 2 striking options you got there in contract.
Woeful.
One hasn't played for ages, and one can't finish a game. So
I do.
That's where the money's got to go, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree with Crunch. Bring in 2, have Hawkins as your 4, Norwood as your 3, and then you've got 2 as your 1 and 2, and then you won't get the best out of Norwood. You might get 15 goals because he might get more games out of him.
I think what Cook said. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday's post-match where he dropped a little slip in there and he said, with the personnel that we've got coming into the club, not we hope are going to come into the club. That we've got coming into the club, which suggests to me they've got some deals done. Hence the reason we've got the luxury of letting Judge go, because we know that number 10, whoever what role it's going to be, is on his way.
Yeah, because Toto, I believe, is out of contract. So with maybe an extension, you've got Nydam there as well, out of contract. You've got to balance giving these players like Nydam a chance, but against actually.
Is he going to be a first choice though? Is he going to be a first choice? No, he's not.
So don't bother, in my opinion, because you've got other young players coming through that are going to be pushing him. He's had injuries. It's heartbreaking as a fan, but that's football. He knows that. We know that. That's the business. Ideally. And I can hear the people at home saying, "Oh, this is a disaster. I'd pay him. I'll pay him." Yeah, in an ideal world, you'd tell Hawkins bye-bye. You'd tell other, in my world, Nolan goodbye. You'd tell maybe Kenlock goodbye, the 2 goalies goodbye. But that's just wasting money.
See, that's why I said it'll take 2 or 3 windows because he can only bring so many in the summer. And like these ones under contract, he'll slowly phase them out down the line, won't he? Because they're not all going to go on the journey that we're going on. They're not going to. Some of them are not going to be good enough.
And you're right. Some might, like a Hawkins, could get picked up by someone in January, for example, like just a nominal fee or something.
I wouldn't be against that. I wouldn't be against telling Hawkins and co. Look, you're not in our first team plans. Same as Ken Lott and 2 goalies. Tell your agent, put the feelers out, see who wants you. We won't argue. Free transfer, that's fine. Just literally transfer from one to the other. But I'm not in the business of paying Damien Delaney up. I'm not in the, I'm going back to that era where you think you got a bit of money so you can pay these players off left, right, and centre, and then you're in the same position because you've wasted the money and you didn't go anywhere. Because if you look at the out of contract players, Chambers, Skuse, Ward, Judge, Wilson, Sears, I mean, there's nobody there actually I'd probably keep. Nobody.
No.
Maybe Toto.
Yeah, Toto would be the only one.
Player of the year, isn't he, Toto?
Possibly Toto. Because, what we've got now is American owners that have no links to these players. So whereas Evans was saying to Plymouth in January about Donasian, I've invested a lot of money in him. I don't know if I can let him go for a nominal fee. No. These guys don't. You're nobody to these guys. You're just players on a bit of paper like this. And I'm looking at it. Chambers 35, Skuse in his 30s, Ward in his 30s, Judge obviously already gone, Wilson in his 30s, Sears I think he's in his 30s. Jackson hasn't pulled up any trees. Bishop again, for like Ken Lott, like Emmanuel, needs to go away from Ipswich Town now and be a better player for it. Toto
that'll probably benefit them, Martin. That'll benefit them moving forward. Someone like Teddy, like I said, I think it was last week. They're too comfortable, aren't they, at the football club? Been there too long. If you go somewhere and you play 40 odd games and you have a great season, fair play to you. Yeah.
The thing is, you can't look back and say on any of these players, we didn't give you a chance to tell us why you should stay, because they've had a fucking great big chance to stay, haven't they?
Yeah.
Every week it seems to be if you want to be here, prove it. Has anybody in that list proved it?
No. I think probably Ipswich fans. I think we're just too. It goes back to this club being too nice, isn't it? We're going, Bishop's been with us so long. We don't really want him to go, but we've just got to.
You look on social media. Everyone was on about getting rid of them all, and then they get rid of Judge, and it's like, he's playing well. Look, fair play to him. I just want to give a big shout out to him because he said he'd waiver that 12-month extension to play the remaining games, and Cook said he can't do that in case he gets injured. So, look, Judge, he's probably been one of our better players this season. Not good enough, but I think he might pick up a championship club, maybe lower bottom end for a year. Maybe somewhere like Warburton at QPR might pick him up. He could do a job.
Yeah.
I hope so for his sake,
Julian says we've not seen Donasian, but feedback is that he's been pretty decent. The problem with Donasian, and I wonder if you two agree, he'd be a backup. And because Vincent Young's already under contract and hasn't proven himself fit enough to be a number one, you can't bring in a second backup and let them both battle it out, because there's a good chance Donasian might play the whole season with the way Vincent Young's kept himself fit.
He played on the left-hand side for Fleetwood yesterday against Hull City. But even he dropped out the side there for a little while when Grayson first came in. We had to pay a lot of money for him, didn't we? But you're going to get that back, are we? So
if Miles and KVY were out of contract, I'd say, choose Donasian over either of those. Primarily because KVY can't stay fit. He could be messy, but if you can't stay fit, it don't matter. Yeah. And Kenlock is sadly inconsistent, and Miles Kenlock. But he's not. It's at the wrong time for Donasian, isn't it, to come out of contract, because you've still got two.
But he's been playing most. Well, no, there was a little spell. I think when Grayson changed the system there, he sort of sat out. But he's another one. He needs to play football. It's no good. What is he now? Is he 26, 27? Sitting in the fringes, Play every week. Go and find a team and play every week.
He'll go to Fleetwood on a free, most probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need Dodgers that game. Good point. Wilson not done a lot wrong. Heavy scorer comparatively, could be back up depending who we get. But then the issue is you've got an older pro in Wilson backing up when that should be your Endaba's job, your Baggett's job, your Levi Ando, who's coming who's never ever seen a first team appearance. At some point, you've got to say enough's enough, and that's there's no sell on value. You're blocking the pathway.
But it's right. If these owners hadn't come in, some of these players we would have had to keep. I was thinking the other day. You think if Evans had stayed, we would really have struggled next season. I really do think we would. I think it would have been looking. We could be looking sliding out the league the other end. I really do.
Yeah, I was saying that pre-game to Bricktop and King. You fear because there's no money under Evans, who by the way was there yesterday.
Yeah,
don't know why he was allowed in. He's not the owner anymore. Can I wander up to any ground and be let in? Like, he's not the owner.
There was a lot of people sitting in that stand that were kind of, I don't know, club staff, directors, whatever they might be. I did notice that above the dugouts. There was a lot of people sat there.
Yeah, it was. Mike D says Holy can't catch a ball, so he must go. I agree. In an ideal world, they'd both not be here wearing the jersey, but they're under contract. And I still remember Damien Delaney and co. And I'm sure Matt does, and I'm sure Crunch does.
Good point.
Yeah. Just because we've got money, don't mean we should be wasting it. They're good backups. You know? Right.
Yeah, agreed.
Mogul. Let's go for a bit of a Mogul story. Where's the old intro? What you got for us, son?
Well, this week has seen developments at the Media Mogul Mansion. The master bedroom has been redecorated, not by me, obviously, my friend Malcolm.
Ceiling mirrors?
Ceiling mirrors? That is not something I want to think of.
No, just for the record, no. And the new carpet. So I thought we would keep the Media Mogul story, to keep in with that theme, to do painting and decorating. So this week saw Spurs announce one of these weird kind of partnerships you get. They Dulux became their official paint supplier. So there we go, that lovely dog there. It's been kind of like the brand of Dulux, hasn't it, for years? So there we go. That happened at 9 a.m. Fantastic. Delighted to announce the nation's #1 paint brand, Dulux, official paint supplier. Within 5 minutes, Martin, you got the next one?
I have.
This came on. Can the dog play centre back? Of which Dulux, social media man, goes, he might do a better job, Chris, with like a little funny thing. This is 5 minutes into the partnership, and then the third one, Martin.
Third one, yeah, here it comes. Da-da-da.
It's time to paint that trophy cabinet, of which Dulux have put for sale unused trophy cabinet, and there was a few other bits saying it was a bit dusty. So very weird way to start the partnership, and in the end, Dulux had to put out a little apology saying, "Right, we're really, really sorry about that. We're really proud to be working with Spurs." And Spurs came back with the perfect forgiveness tweet where they said, "Let's just gloss over it." But
did you see Jose, mine, when he was doing his press conference for the Everton game? They asked him about the Dulux dog, and he had no idea. And then he was like asking his press officer, and then the guy asking the question, he kept going, and it was getting like really awkward. And you're thinking, we need to really move on from here because Jose didn't have a clue.
No idea. But I got chatting to like a few of my ex-FA colleagues. We were talking about this because you get a lot of this in football. Why Jose probably didn't know. You get a lot of these second, third, fourth tier sponsorship supplier things that never really see the light of day, but do because of social media. We had it with the FA Cup and sponsors in other countries that you wouldn't have known about in the UK. And but the fact is that probably wouldn't have got any traction. Oh, Dulux now working with Spurs. But now everyone knows Dulux working with Spurs, albeit for the wrong reasons. People do know. So weird. It was a weird angle that Dulux took within 5 minutes of announcing the sponsorship deal. That's for certain.
Yeah. Somebody might have had a reprimand or lost their job.
Do you think the guy in charge was an Arsenal fan?
Got to be.
It's got to be like that.
You've got to be professional. But again, it's people living on Twitter. Like, can't you announce it in the more traditional way and just get on with it? Does it have to be?
You wouldn't get any pickup though, would it? It's typical social media content, but it just seemed weird. I would have thought it was a Gunners fan who was in charge there.
But you can announce something without, and the tab says who can reply to this, and you just put nobody. Like, protect yourself, right? Because
that's not really. They want engagement, though, don't they? Everything's measured by engagement.
Well, they got it then. They got it. It worked. They got it. Everyone's talking about it.
For the wrong reasons. You do now, and we're now discussing it.
Exactly. So it worked. He did his job. Right, on to our go. Crunch, go first. What's your goat this week?
Right, so the Slavia Prague defender Kudela, 10-game ban for racism. I think we all see it in the Europa League game at Glasgow Rangers. So Kamara got a 3-game ban as well, didn't he, for aggressive behaviour, which I thought is a bit mental. Then I was looking into it. So Kieran Trippier, Atletico Madrid, 12-game ban for betting.
Yeah.
And you think, how they say, look, they have kicked racism out. How are we going to take it seriously when the thing that I don't like is on the pitch there, this is what needs to, it will never happen. What needs to happen is one of them Sparta Prague players needs to say he actually said that, because they're not going to, are they? Because they're like a team. They all stick together. We all see it. That Kamara wasn't acting like he was because something was just said. Just a throwaway comment. He said something there which is really naughty, which he shouldn't have done. But I just don't like it where UEFA, they want to get rid of it. I just think a 10-game ban, is that enough? He's going to miss 5 games in the Euros for the Czech Republic. I just think I don't know. They don't care, do they? Look, Callie in the comments there. They don't really care about racism. Huge
problem, Cruncher, because my goat is almost similar. My goat is about Tyrone Mings. He isn't the GOAT, but he suffered racist abuse again on social media. They located and found the account, and the statement they put out, I won't say what platform it was on because I'm not going to go there, but their statement was banned for a period of time. A period of time.
It's opening the door to go back in, isn't it?
Like, if you found the person who sent the abuse, that should be it.
Yeah.
No period at all.
It's a funny one. It's when I first started in the FA in 2007. I worked with Kick It Out a lot. The anti-racism charity.
They do great stuff.
I worked with them a lot. The problem we have is now 14 years down the line, we're still having the same conversation. So you have to ask yourself: are these people that are in a position to try and force the change, be it Kick It Out or Fair in Europe, whoever it might be? Are they just doing the same things and hoping for a different response? Do you know what I mean? It's a definition of madness, isn't it? Doing the same thing over and over and hoping for a different outcome. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is because we're having exactly the same.
Yeah, Adam Flat. That's it. The nail on. Yeah,
we've said that before. It should be you have to provide a ID to have an account. I do agree with that.
Times I've said it.
It's like Julian Summer says there in the comments. They just pay lip service, don't they, UEFA? And it's some of the fines you see dished out. It's like, look, Callie's saying there, the England players got abused in Europe, and it was 50k. Yeah. Then you get too many red or yellow cards, and the team gets fined 200,000. So
it's crazy.
But as Lee Anderson says, the person would change email, open another, and that's why verified accounts is the only way. And I agree. Like I've always said that we've got too many Ipswich Town whatevers. Like, if you've got an opinion, put it to the mast, get it out there. It's your opinion. Do you know what I mean? Like,
if you don't know the opinion, don't go on social media. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
don't have an anonymous account. Yeah.
What's your go, Sam?
My go is okay. So I've got a Charlton friend at work, and he recommended to me to watch the Charlton game on their own channel because they don't do iFollow. And this got me thinking about how maybe we've been quite critical of iFollow this season. To see a bespoke service. They call it Valley Pass. So you buy your Valley Pass, you do the app. So I did that. You download the app, you pay your £10, the same. But then that opens the door to almost like this whole magazine show they do. So it was hosted by Scott Minto, and he had Paul Mortimer as one of the pundits, and one I'm about to come to in a minute. And they did pre-match, it was like Sky. I was watching Sky. It was all in HD. They did interview Ryan Innes before the game started.
Not as good as a match day ticket.
Thank you very much. Finally.
Fine, we'll come back to that in a minute because they're very different shows. Because this is obviously very much club specific. And they had their own commentators, TV commentators, free commentators, multiple camera angles, and then the post-match show as well with the pundits, all for the same price that we are paying to get radio commentary over the top and nothing at halftime and all that kind of thing. Hence the reason why match day ticket Talking Town is the place to go for us, because we don't have that service. But what disappointed me yesterday on the go was this guy was in the middle of Scott Minto and Paul Mortimer. Martin, got the picture? Darren Bent, all Charltoned up. Now, excuse me. Benty came through our youth system, 122 appearances, kept referring to Charlton as we, and Ipswich as the opposition. Very disappointing, considering his stance on TalkSport, where he was talking about almost like he was still number one Ipswich fan. So that really annoyed me, because that's he's been paid a fee to become Mr. Charlton, which then got me thinking: if Charlton and Ipswich met at Wembley, who would Benty and Matty Holland be supporting? I wonder, because Matty's still got a toe in the Charlton camp, hasn't he? And fair play to him, he was their skipper, so I get that. But that did annoy me yesterday, I have to say.
Yeah.
Seeing Darren Bent talking about Ipswich as if we were the opposition and Charlton, and hopefully we can get the win and blah blah. I was like, what?
David Long, poor from Bent. But the iFollow service is toilet. Toilet. You know, we are American sports fans, Matt. We pay for various different subscriptions over the pond. So much better than what you get.
So much. But I've mentioned it before, the Major League Baseball app. I've paid 95 quid. I can watch all 162 Chicago Cubs games when I want, live or on demand. You get all the stats in game as well. You can even look at the bios of the players. You just swipe the screen on your iPad. Absolutely fantastic value. And here we are paying a tenner, 20 quid a month, if not more, just to get bog standard one camera, the radio commentary over the top, which I'm told didn't even work yesterday. They were on the phone, weren't they?
Phone, yeah.
And Mick couldn't do his thing. It's just a joke. And we still balk, don't we, at pay-per-view prices in the boxing. 25 quid for that. Well, bloody hell, you do more than that in watching Ipswich. And
with the NFL one, you get the coaches' angle. So in football's term, the performance and analysts camera. You get the real camera. You get the shortened match. You get the full match. You get all these different things. You get the NFL network as part of it. And it's just...
yeah, so much better.
And it's obviously Brenner, bless him, he's doing commentary for radio because that's what he's there to do.
Yeah.
And you can, with your eyes and your ears, they often have arguments for iFollow, because Brenner will say something and your ears will listen and your eyes will go, I don't fucking see that. Like it'll go a close effort there from Alan Jupp.
Which brings me to my second point on the Valley Pass, because I was thinking, you could have the Portman Road Pass, couldn't you? But within that service as well, I think because the season ticket holders can buy it and they have it for the 12 months. In there, you've got Charlton documentaries, interviews. They had something called Call Your Friends at charlton.co.uk, where you sit next to someone but you've not seen at the ground, but you've not seen them through lockdown. We'll put you in touch so you can keep in touch with each other, see how they're getting on. So one guy was on there, Dennis, meeting up with his mate who's 83 on the phone. Oh, it's great to hear he's okay. I've been wondering how he's been getting on. He sat next to me for 40 years and we don't even know each other's phone number. That kind of thing. It was just a real good sense of community. Documentaries, past games. Look, we're in the Ipswich Town 40th anniversary of winning the UEFA Cup. Have you seen anything from the club on a documentary, interviews with the players? I've seen nothing. That could have been content through the year that we haven't seen.
Well, I'm available for hire.
All we've had is the shirt. It's the shirt with 40 years on the badge. I've not seen anything with players.
Lee, that's the lag, Martin. No, Lee, no, you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. It's like bombing down the wing. He weren't bombing anywhere. Well, certainly my eyes weren't seeing him bomb anywhere. Jem, Brenner gets very excited. Yeah, I love Brenner, but he does. And you only notice he gets excited when you actually watch the game that you're listening to at the same time. It's like, Bren, calm down. We'll just pass the ball forwards. Get it on, Guv. Get it on, David Long. Right. I guess we finish off with the crunching tackle, which is quite apt, really, because it's quite a good one. Jason Candy-esque this is going to be.
That was a good goal, wasn't it? Do you remember that? Were you at that game?
I wasn't at it, no.
What a goal. 100 miles an hour. Right, so Josh Carson, do we all remember Josh?
Yeah.
Broke through, didn't he? Scored 2 on his debut against Crystal Palace.
Did well.
I think the next game I went to Bristol City away, he scored in that. I think Lee Martin got sent off in that game. Lee Martin. Josh is now playing for Coleraine. And I don't know if everybody's seen it. They were playing the Glentoran. And scored one of the best goals you've ever seen. Unfortunately, it was in his own net.
Well, that's normally where own goals are.
Are you playing it? Is it?
I can play it. Yeah, you want me to play it?
Yeah, have a look at this.
Here we go. I won't include the audio, but
this is on the Glentoran website.
There you go. Good tackle. Good tackle. Oh, look at that. He's only 27, Matt. He's only 27, Josh Carson.
Wow.
Look, there he is. Look, dejected, sitting down. 4 appearances for Northern Ireland as well.
So he's putting a little sliding tackle there, and it's gone about 40 odd yards into the top corner.
Good tackle. But would you criticise the goalie, Martin?
I would.
If that was Holy in goal, we'd all be all over him, wouldn't we?
You'd expect Holy to get that, wouldn't you? With his
Colin Healy-esque, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just need Prisky in there.
That's caught everyone by surprise there, isn't it? The keeper's off his line, not expecting anything to happen.
Wow. It was a 2-all draw as well. 2-all draw as well.
Wow. Really? Wow.
Well, nice to see him still playing anyway.
I sponsored him when he was in the academy. I sponsored him when he was in the academy at Town, and then he made the breakthrough. But he never 18 starts, 15 appearances, 5 goals for Town. He was another young player who flattered to deceive, wasn't he? Really?
Yeah. It's difficult to keep that momentum going, isn't it? It's difficult. I mean, someone said the other day when we won the FA Youth Cup, how many of that actual squad went on and had good careers? It was none. Billy Clark, maybe.
Danny Haynes was okay.
Garvin.
Ed Upson, he's had a good career.
He's had a good career, yeah. Ed's had a good
Town,
career.
Yeah.
Gareth Bale was on the bench that night for Southampton. David McGoldrick was in the starting lineup.
And Walcott, I think. Was Walcott?
Yeah, Walcott.
Yeah.
We've not had that luck, though, have we? That's the sort of luck Town needs in this next 5 games. Yeah. Something like that, where an own goal. You know what I mean? Without any penalties. We've not had
the one game we saw a kind of turnaround was that Plymouth one. Do you remember? Because we were getting well beaten, weren't we? Albeit 1-0. Then he got sent off them really silly yellows, and suddenly we were 2-1 up within 5 minutes, weren't we? Yeah, you need something like that. Yeah.
Something to light the match paper.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, we are back tomorrow, 8:30 for the Talking Town Extra Time. We have got somebody from the Cobblers podcast joining us at some point in the show to preview Northampton and discuss them. Go on, Matt.
Very, very quick one. You'll know the Celtic state of mind, guys. What I thought might happen, their latest podcast is an hour and 20 minutes with Paul Lambert. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of Celtic chat there, obviously, but might be a bit of Town in there. I've not seen it yet, but it's an hour and 20. They've tracked him down and done an interview with him, so might be worth a watch. See what he's got to say.
Boom. Yeah, absolutely. It's a really good show, actually. It's on YouTube. Yeah. Hook it up. But yeah, Best Burger. They're back open in Stowmarket. Best Burgers in Stowmarket. I said to Brandon, I'll give him a shout. Absolutely the best burgers in Stowmarket. There is the logo. And of course, Networking 90, our friends at Networking 90, all your business needs. Right, we're done. We're dusted. Back tomorrow at 8:30. As I say, with the Cobblers, it's an all-ladies contribution panel. It's Vicky Henderson. So hope that dog is safe for at least an hour. And Amy Downs will be joining me. So exciting times. Yeah, I feel sorry for Vicky. I think I made her watch the game this weekend just because she's on the show. So we might get no filter Yorkshire V. But until tomorrow, with love, with care. See you then.